Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Innkeeper, and today I would like to welcome you all back to Timber and Stone, the Land of Islay Season 3. We're just sort of hanging out on this tower right here, overlooking the market square, going towards the road reaching to the castle right there, which is slowly just sort of shadowed in the distance right there. Merv right now is in a state of distress because I just started talking after about 30 minutes of nothing. So there we go. I say 30 minutes of nothing. Other than tests, I think I'm fine. I'm not those kind of... I've been tested. They're telling me it's okay quality. It's good. It's nice. Everything's going fairly well at the moment. Last episode, or last session, shall I say, we created ourselves this rather nice looking quarry right here. I haven't actually uploaded the episode showing the last little section, so I've not looked at any comments or feedback, so I do apologize about that. We will be recording only 2 episodes in today's session, so hopefully I'll be able to get a decent amount done. And we did make this crane right here, which I personally quite like, but I think the base right here could be changed slightly. Just, I mean, I don't know. It looks like it can support. It makes sense. Just I feel like it could look a little bit cleaner, perhaps. I think mostly I've got a problem with the textures and the way they connect with one another. The contrast, shall we say, between castle brick and timber planks is rather disgusting. I think it's probably a good word to use right there. It's not great looking, I won't lie, but there we go. Today's episode, I don't know exactly what we're okay, well, that's a lie. It's a little bit of a lie. What I really should have said is I've got an idea of what to do today. First things first, we need to make sure you're not stuck. Okay, you're stuck, Ral. How the fuck did you do this to yourself? Right, get off. Just get some scaffolding. Get the hell off of there, you bloody idiot. Right, let's do this. Get one right there. Scaffolding, that is. Scaffolding. We got some scaffolding. We're going to throw that right here. We got Wolfie. He's got some... yeah, he hasn't got any scaffolding. Oh, no, he does. He's got the scaffolding. Right, I just need you to move so you can get that last little bit done. Oh, there we go. Where's the music? Where's the sound? Oh, where's the music? Surely the farmers are making noises, because I tested before. They were making noises. Okay, you're fine. It's just for some reason the builder was like, I don't feel like it. Wait, there's a wolf there. Oh, yeah. I forgot. We had a rather large pack of wolves attack us last episode, and now we've got a... Well, not a wolf. Goblins. Goblin-wolf combo right here. Who spawned on that island. Just did that marauder right there, and then a bunch of others are warg riders. Is that a wolf over there? It is. Okay, then. Probably another goblin right behind him. And then, of course, we have the Goblin Island, or whatever I've been calling it. For some reason, I've gone blank. There we go. Can't be an episode without me saying that I've gone blank, I suppose. Makes sense. No trader, I've noticed. Or at least I haven't looked on the board. We usually get a trader by the start of it all, so I'm surprised we don't have one just yet. Although it seems we have a goblin over here. That's surprising. I wonder why you're still a thing. Why are you still a thing? Also, why do you have 2... It's a very inefficient way to cut wood. Especially with your other hand just sort of being basically the first point of impact. Look at that cheesy grin. Yeah, I got this. As I was saying, pretty much his palm right there was the first point of impact on the wood before his axe even made contact. It was a little bit strange. But there we go. And then he's got his fire right there. We should probably go and send our trained militia. Not really militia. They started off as militia and are now warriors, guards of the realm, which is fantastic to see. So we will send Farkas to go and take out the scum, and then we'll delete these corpses just to make life a little bit cleaner. You never know. They might get some sort of happiness down buff or something like that. Be like Rimworld. There we go. So yes, as I was saying before I went on my tangent, if it was a tangent, what I'm going to do, or at least what I'm thinking of doing right now, is continuing to construct these houses or filling the interior for these houses. And I'm mostly siding on doing the interior for these houses and sort of a little bit at the same time making a few of the houses over here. Most probably these ones in this section right here, because they're going to be a little bit more awkward, mostly because they are going to be quite close to one another. But then again, they're all sort of relatively close to one another in comparison, I suppose. Let's say in comparison, when you're looking at these houses, there's a decent amount of space. Okay, maybe not. It's basically going to look like this. They're going to be rather pretty much connected, and from the top side right here, they're sort of one big block. Although they are quite distinctive at the same time, so maybe that's not completely the case. But hopefully, what we're going to get is just this side looking complete, essentially, which is the goal that we're going for, and then we can mostly do sort of exterior decoration and that kind of fun stuff, and that'll be really cool to see. But interior is definitely a good idea. What we sort of need to do, really, is fill in the interior for our Fletcher, sort of a weaver person right here. Would make a lot more sense, and at the same time fill in our town hall. So I suppose we should get that done. That would make a little bit more sense. Let's pause the game right here. Excuse me, take a drink. Yesterday, Merv was being a pain in the ass because I have changed. Well, not changed. I have. Okay, no, well, I've changed my bed. I've upgraded, essentially. There needs to be a few refurbishments. You do get used to a bed, don't you? So when you essentially get a what could be considered a higher quality bed, you're still more used to the new, well, the one that you're used to. That makes sense, really. Probably could put it in a better way, but there we go. But underneath that bed was 2 drawers that you could open up. They were also very dark as well. It was mostly concealed, enclosed. There we go. So he likes dark places. It's a little bit odd, I suppose. Maybe lots of parrots like dark places. I don't know why he likes dark places. Maybe it's because when they were flying him from whatever country they stole him from. No, he was born in England, for those that are wondering. I was just sort of making a very, very disturbing and actually not funny joke. But I suppose it wasn't really meant to be funny or humorous. It's mostly meant to be just an unfortunate circumstance of animal trading. But there we go. It's just horrible. Hopefully, it won't continue further. But there we go. We have Merv now, which I guess is a thing, probably due to animal trading of his ancestors. But there we go. That's an unfortunate topic that I don't think I want to dwell on myself upon. Or the viewers right now. You can probably tell I'm a little bit more monotone today. I'm very tired. I had a very, very long day, and I thought, let's play some Timber and Stone. This game's quite relaxing, so just do some normal relaxing, maybe talk about some random stuff. That's what we usually do on the channel. And Timber and Stone's usually a much better game at doing that because you're mostly making up your own sort of let's play right here, which is quite interesting. Maybe that's a good topic right there, sort of the difference between sort of types of let's plays, which is pretty cool. I should probably get some of this stuff done in the meantime. The problem with me, well, talking and doing something at the same time, essentially I'm a terrible multitasker. Well, is that really the case? Not really. My job requires lots of multitasking, but the thing is, going back on the idea of multitasking, you know, the whole no one can actually multitask, blah, 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 that kind of thing, which is true. You just sort of, what is it some people say? You put half of your total amount of possible output of effort into 2 things. Well, 1/2 of your possible maximum output of effort. There's probably a better way of saying it, but I'm sort of being unrealistically specific, perhaps? I don't know. Can you be unrealistically specific? Yeah, I suppose you can. You could say something that could be shortened easily. I suppose that's another way of improving your ability to convey something by just shortening it, rather than what I usually do, which is go into unnecessary tangents that could have been expressed or conveyed once again in about 5 seconds, well, or 5 words, but I'll have a few paragraphs for it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I keep doing this and just going on random tangents. But yes, multitasking, no one can, well, some people probably can actually multitask. It's sort of like ambidextrous people, you know, people that can use right and left hand. I think that's ambidextrous. Is that ambidextrous? Sure, why not? The problem is I could be right, and I don't know. So yeah, cool. Fun things are happening right now. I will go ahead and talk about Let's Plays in a second once I sort of figure out what I'm doing for this structure. And then while they're constructing it, I can then talk, which would make a lot more sense. So we sort of have a dining room area right here on the 2nd floor, which I do quite like. The bottom floor needs to mostly be something I need to do real quick. I'm writing down the topic because I forget. There we go, even though I'll forget that I wrote it down as well, but maybe it will help. It might just notify my mind occasionally. But there we go. And then we have the bottom section right here, which should be the working floor, possibly the bit at the back. We should have a working area, and then this can be sort of a counter. I'm sort of curious where the counter could go. We should have a counter along here. Unfortunately, we're going to have to get rid of the staircase, though, aren't we? Are we? It is an unfortunate place for it. I suppose what I could do is have the counter go along the staircase and then around here. Yeah, I suppose that's a good idea. So what we'll do is we'll make a counter. I think a good idea for the counter is to make it out of timbered brick. Because it's very bright and it's sort of... No, then again, timbered brick might not be a great idea. What about pale brick? That's sort of a good countertop. That's not bad. But then again, it's sort of kitchen-like, which is not great. Plaster, once again, a little bit more like a kitchen. Timber planks. Could go for timber planks. Not a bad one. Smooth timber. Still looks more like flooring. Flat stone. What are we using here? Umber brick. Maybe flat stone. That's not bad. I like flat stone. So let's have our little counter right here. This can be... Wait, have we got another way to get up? Why have we got 2 ways to get up? That's completely pointless. Surely there was a good reason for it. Also, what are these bits inside about? I guess I forgot to get rid of them. Wasn't I going to redesign this house? I quite like it. I mean, the only thing I don't like is this bit should probably go back by 1 block, but that's fine. Otherwise, I think it will make the bottom look a little bit more weird anyway if it did go back by 1 more. So we'll leave it. I don't mind so much. Guess that's really the problem with playing a game that has very large blocks. Is that detail can be quite difficult. So anyway, what one do we get rid of? That staircase or that one? This one. This one's a little less tidy. I think the only problem I have is this staircase is sort of right behind the... Well, this. So, and this is pretty much only there for aesthetics. So it's going to look a little bit awkward. However, it will open up more space for the bottom down here so that we can have a big table. So I suppose it's worth it since it's meant to be a dining area. So we will leave that. What we will do, though, is get some timbered floor. Timbered floor, I believe, is... Well, should be in the floor section. There we are, timbered floor. Now we go back to the lower levels right here. And we can extend the bottom area with more fieldstone right here and see if we can do anything interesting with it. Probably not, other than some random objects that we can add in. It's going to take a long time to get... Well, no, it won't take that long to get these houses done. I'll probably just sort of do items... in order, so bookcases, got all the bookcases done for all the places, beds, got all the beds done. Should we make materials so that everyone can have a really nice bed? That would make a lot of sense. I think that's a good idea, possibly. Or we can mix and match. I might mix and match. Some people are just of greater wealth than others. Although no one should have a sort of bed like this. There we go. No one should have the straw bed in their house, only if they're outside because it fits the aesthetic and also the value or riches that they have. So there we go. We will go ahead, go to objects. And let's see, decor. We got anything here? Got a hedge. Can get a hedge in. I forgot how to rotate for some reason. Is it these? What button is it to rotate? Completely forgotten. Oh, it's space. Why did I forget that? I don't know. Very strange. We don't want the well. We've got a stone bench, which we can have right here. It's a nice place for a stone bench. We want to get the door in at some point. Do you want a bench right here as well? Yes, not a bad idea. People can wait outside if they want, while they're waiting for their equipment to be constructed. Or they can just sort of walk around if they want. There's another bench right there, which is a nice place to sit. I would definitely sit there. So, a banner. Banner's not a bad idea. We can sort of have a banner right here, which is sort of for sale. Like, they're very good at making banners. So, we have a few banners right there. I'm going to say banners a few more times if you want me to. Got a loom, which should be in the back, but we'll have a loom right here just to take up space, as well as a tanning rack, which is also, again, to take up space. And right here, we will also have another tanning rack, although slightly away from the wall, just to, like I keep saying, take up space. As for the back section, we will have a rack right here, although we'll have a rack right there. What we need to do is, are we going to use wood at all? Is there any desire for them to be using wood? For the tops of the banners, it's not a bad idea. I think we should do that. And then an artisan's workbench, because it sort of shows a level of artistic design that I think the workbench is really going to help portray. And an anvil, well, I don't know about that. So let's get the game going. Let's wait for them to construct all this stuff. It looks like sort of a mix of masons, blacksmiths, and tailors. Now, I do believe we have a tailor. Yep, Rensin, who should be our only tailor. Something to think about before we make beds or anything like that is just to double check. So a comfortable bed requires 20 cotton and 12 cloth, I imagine. The timber is not, well, it's not even noteworthy considering how many we have. Something else to think about, because we have so many trees to be chopped down. We should probably get our lumberjacks to start working. We could very much run out of trees, and I would say we will run out of, well, not run out of trees, run out of wood. Well, we should run out of trees. The trees take about a week to grow, which is very quick. Oh, you didn't kill him, but you've only just started walking back. I was paused for a majority of my time, though. Alright, go and kill that goblin. I'm pretty sure I can seek and destroy. Or at least I used to. Pause. Okay, I think there used to be a feature for that. It's not working now. But oh well. We will have Farkas go and easily deal with the beast. Merv's on my shoulder right now trying to talk to me. Do you want Merv? I don't want to eat your food, Merv. It's disgusting. I'm not a parrot. Or your... Well, okay, I am your kin. But there we go. I am half parrot, of course. Oh. Nope. I don't want that. Anyway. There we go. Parrots, they try to feed you. That's just the way they show they care, I suppose. That, or he's trying to mate with me, which would be unfortunate, but I don't think it will go like that. Will it? Will it, though? I don't know, actually. As for the top section right here, I think I'd rather leave this blank. We don't need that. So we are going to destroy that. Pause the game. We have a few benches right here. Unfortunately, the benches are of a different color. Ooh, the flat stone right there looks really good. I do like that. What I might want to do is destroy this and get a fence gate here. We need a loom as well, which requires twine. Now, let's just double check again. I think it was 12 cloth and 20 cotton or something like that. We should have quite a lot of cotton for a comfortable bed. So, I keep going to the wrong place. Furniture. Comfortable bed. So, 12 cloth, 20 cotton. We can go back and forth, so I guess I don't know why I'm doing that. So we have more than enough cotton to put at least one of these beds in every house. What about cloth, though? Processed, clothed. Only 57 cloth. Clothed, apparently. We have wool, cotton, and flax fiber. So 4 flax fiber. So we should be able to make at least 100 of these. At least 100 cloth. We're going to need to make a little bit more than that. We do have wool. So we'll make 200 from that. I'm assuming it's going to make just 200 there, 100 there. And that's what I'm hoping for. We don't want to use any of the cotton, even though I think we still got quite a lot of it, so there's no reason not to. The game paused there. Spider's been spotted, apparently. Very small one at that, so I'm not going to worry so much. Unless, of course, the big mother trucker herself spawns. Which I thought she did then, but no, it was just the Goblin Marauder, so it's all fine. There we are. Okay, we'll continue onwards. Trying to get something set up over here. Let's just get the fence gate thrown in. Hopefully, at least in today's session, I can get those two done. I keep saying I'll do a lot of this in the background, but it's hard to find time. Because it's very time consuming. And you feel sort of like you're wasting a bit of time when I'm not getting some recording done. So that's sort of the downside of playing Timber and Stone, I suppose. Objects. Where am I going? Doors. Fence gate. There we are. So we've got a cool little fence gate right there. This is a good representation of what we can sell. We would like to have something on the counter, but unfortunately we can't really have much. Like, there's no point of having... No, there really isn't much, is there? Storage, I could have just a tools chest up here. It can act as... something? I don't know. It's definitely there. Do we want wheat to the front? I think wheat to the front's a good idea. Just sort of slightly overflowing. It's not a bad idea right there. Same thing with the woods. Oh no, it's already sort of a pretty big pile. The wheat's not going to really go in there for quite some time. Mostly I'm covering up this end because... in fact, it could go back by one more. There we go. So a farmer should just sort of be thrown. Spider. is slain by... Why did the game pause? Alright, I paused the game, that's why. Keep forgetting that I'm pausing the game for some reason. So if you walk over there. Ooh, do apologise. I feel lightheaded all of a sudden. That's the problem with talking all the time, I suppose. Need to catch my breath. It's been a very humid day. And I do have a lot of trouble breathing in a humid day. And so I imagine a lot of other people do as well. Let's see. Kind of metals or masonry. Most of the top here is just going to be furniture. So a large table. Is that too much? It does seem a bit silly. I think maybe two smaller table. Well, still big tables, but one right here. Unfortunately, this doesn't count. Well, not that it doesn't count. Unfortunately, it's not adding up in the way I would like it to. It's sort of slightly off, which does annoy me. Suppose what I could do is just accept the fact that it's going to be slightly off. Having it go along by 3 seems pointless. Now this, it's just so much bigger, that table. It's absurd. The wooden chairs. One right here, one right here, one right here. One right there, one right there, one right there. So it's still sort of a meeting area, I suppose. But because the Weaver would be considered, in this instance anyway, they're quite well off. Which is quite odd, I suppose, since well, weaving wasn't really, I believe anyway, considered that high of value. You had to be noble to probably get this kind of luxury, but I'm just trying to fill up space. So there we go. We got a comfortable bed, which should be at the top, right there. Should be a double bed. Unfortunately, we can't make it a double bed. There we go. I imagine, you know, the Weaver probably also has a significant other. Possibly. I'm going to assume in this instance they do. And we're going to have another small table in this corner. This is just so they get up, they have their breakfast. You know, they probably have, I don't know, scrambled eggs or something. Bookcase likes his literature. Or her literature, any kind of literature, and a dresser right in the corner. Not bad. Wish we get rugs in this, that'd be great. Those bits annoy me. We should have ourselves a wooden chair. This wooden chair right in front of the fireplace isn't bad. It's not great though either. I think another bookcase right in that corner there. And then another 2 large bookcases. As for this front, we can fill this up with crates. Seems to be my go-to most of the time, isn't it? Just, what are we going to do with this? Fill it with crates. I'll tell you what, the chest should go here. It's not a bad idea. We should check the indent. There we go. Indent. The coin pile's absurdly large. I wish it was sort of a lot smaller. Wood. We don't need a wood. Oh, no, we do need a wood pile. We do have one right here, which makes me think it's sort of a pointless endeavor. But they would want them to be within close proximity, so I don't think it's a bad idea to get a wood pile right there. Who wants to go down the stairs, down outside, and gather some wood, and then go all the way back up right in the morning? Sounds like a horrible idea. How's the bottom looking right now? Filled in. It's nice. We're definitely using up space. We are missing out, though. Mostly, it is a food barrel with just a bunch of random crates. I don't like those 2 there. Tell you what, we'll get the food barrel in later. No, that should be fine. We can get the food barrel in now. Went out of the decoration for some reason. There we go. Quenching my thirst. This is apparently a big thing right now. And this feels pretty good. I've come pretty far in this little construction of our weavers. We should definitely assign the bed as well once we actually get a chance to create it, which we hopefully will. Apparently Wait, what am I making? Okay, wait, let's delete those. Apparently I'm not making the right type of bed. Furniture. Well, I am making a comfortable... I guess I accidentally clicked on the blanketed bed. That's fine. We will go back to doing that, which is made by a carpenter. How many carpenters do we have? I imagine we have a few. We have 4. Most of them I think, are making wood, though. No, they're not. Okay. I don't know what they're doing, then. Are these miners or carpenters? If they're the carpenters, so they're just a bit stuck right now. Alright, let's have you walk down there. Should hopefully save them a little bit of time. Now, because we have some builders, I guess it's not really a bad idea to set the builders up to make the 2nd floor for all of these buildings. Since it's going to take them a little while to do it, and in the background, the carpenters can get all the inside construction done. I like how I said today I'd talk about sort of Let's Plays different between them. Even though I wasn't going to really go too in-depth, but because I've held it for so long, you're going to think I'm going to talk for 13 hours about in-depth analysis, being someone that has been a part of Let's Play for like the last 4 years. But nope, that's not me. I'm not a man of in-depth analysis because I usually forget my analyses. So there we go. At least I'm honest. That's that. If you get anything from me as the innkeeper, it's at least I'm honest. Tell you what though, we missed out on this little bit of wall right here for some reason. Then again, am I honest? Because every single time I start it, well, not every single time, but sometimes when I start a sentence, it's to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, well, you know what I mean? It's like saying like all the time. I tend to do that a lot as well, mostly because a few people say like a lot that I hang around with, and it drives me insane. And that's just the kind of thing, I suppose. Like, whatever, man. Like, not only that, but lots of it's in TV as well, back in my youth. Thankfully, back in my youth, I don't really watch too much television right now. Mostly I listen to the radio while just reading my cartoons on the paper. That kind of, no, that kind of thing. I haven't read or bought a paper in my entire... Okay, no, I've read a paper when I've been bored, and a paper is available to me. Most of my news comes from the internet. So that's fine. Even though news from the internet is... basically like getting it from the paper as well. It's just as skewed and agenda driven and echo chambery, if that's the right word for it. So it's always with a pinch of salt, but salt, not salt. Pinch of salt if you want, lav. But there we go. That's just sort of the nature of the beast, unfortunately, which has drawn me to a little bit of lag. I don't think they like me doing that. It's mostly because of the destinations and all the AIs sort of scrambling to get their jobs done. If I cancel some of these, it will hopefully speed the game up ever so slightly. Nope. Come on. Let's pause the game while we're at it. Might save us a little bit of lag. If we just get this done for a few buildings and just sort of make our way through it as we go, that would probably alleviate some of the lag that we are currently experiencing. And we'll come back over here and we'll just get 3 buildings at a time done. I like the idea of that. Saves us lag. We can keep the game on a decent speed and hopefully ignore Merv. Or continue to ignore Merv. There we... Nope, still bad. Okay. Maybe we should stop these ones, as it's apparently causing mass hysteria. I don't know why this is causing so many issues. It's that last one. What? What happened to the AI there? They got completely fucked. The game really doesn't like big blobs of construction. I've noticed that. Wait, how long have we been requesting to get this done? It's a travesty. How long has this been a thing? I mean, why are we putting 2 blocks there in the first place? I don't want those. It's probably been causing massive building issues. This needs to be changed. Let's change that really quick. Otherwise, I'm going to find this out later on and be incredibly annoyed, as I am right now. So it's not really too much of a difference, really. And we will build our way up. Oh. For some reason, I was going to say we're going to build our way up as the empires did before they fell. I don't know why I thought of saying that. Really weird. But there we are. I'm still waiting for our carpenters to get their bloody asses into gear. Come on! Why are you taking so long? I'm very slow at your jobs. I mean, I suppose you're doing all the sort of menial stuff first. That doesn't... You don't get away with that, I'm afraid. We still mating cloth. Are we mating with our cloth? I hope so. I don't want to see any slacking with the mating of the cloth. Something else to think about is if we go to our tailor. So it's Rensin. Okay. Does it matter? No, the ownership should just be assigned to a profession. In case we make ourselves another tailor, which is possible, to be honest with you. Well, we're never going to do that. Once again, going back to saying to be honest. Very odd.